Living alone is so expensive because my bills are almost $3,000 a month. That includes absolutely everything. And I am not living above my means. I promise you that I am not.
I am tired of the amount of gaslighting us single people have to go through. Because let's be honest, a lot of the things that our friends in relationships can get for free, we have to pay for.
It's your lucky day because I did some boots on the ground journalism because I was like, how are these people casually affording Birkins and luxury hauls?
Is anybody else feeling so frustrated with the fact that they're single? Like, I understand that it's God's timing, and when I tell you I trust in that man with my whole life, I mean it.
I'm 24. I've never dated anyone before, and by never dated, I mean I've never even held hands with a man. I'm tired of having to be independent. I'm tired of having to do everything by myself all the time.
I just need a man in my life that just wants to be a man in my life. Just a man. Not my man. No benefits, no sugar, no nothing. You just want to be a man in my life.
What's up, y'all? Welcome back to Pearl Chronicle.
Living alone is so expensive because my bills are almost $3,000 a month. That includes absolutely everything. And I am not living above my means. I promise you that I am not. All of my bills are reasonable. And I'm just like, but everything nowadays is so expensive that is just like, even treating yourself feels like a crime. And I'm so jealous of married people because I'm like, oh my gosh, you have help. Oh my gosh, stay-at-home moms can just stay home and their man can pay all the bills. I want to be a kept woman so bad. I am so tired of paying bills. I'm so tired of stressing. I just want to be back where when I was like 23, 24, where I could save money. Everything was cheap. Now that I'm 27, I feel like it's so hard to save because, again, everything is so expensive. And it's hard out here for single people.
It's interesting how independence sounds empowering until the bills hit every month with no safety net. Suddenly, the traditional provider role that men played for generations starts looking a lot more valuable than social media made it seem.
Is anybody else feeling so frustrated with the fact that they're single? Like, I understand that it's God's timing, and when I tell you I trust in that man with my whole life, I mean it. But it doesn't change the fact that I'm still frustrated about it. And that's okay because I'm being raw with my feeling. God wants us to bring our feelings to him and be vulnerable with that. And if I'm being vulnerable, I'm so frustrated. And I know I can't be the only one. So if you're feeling the same way, let's talk about it. What are you struggling with? Because I know I can't be the only one that's feeling this way. And it's so frustrating when people tell you it'll happen when you least expect it, or are your standards too high, or like all the other things that people tell you. Because I have faith in people. I know that there's wonderful people out there. I'm not saying that the dating scene is trash or anything because I know that there's wonderful people. I think social media has clouded a lot of things and made it more difficult for people to find authentic relationships. But I think that there's wonderful, wonderful people out there. I'm just saying that I know I can't be the only one that's feeling so frustrated in this season of my life. And I know that God will provide, but it doesn't change the fact that I'm so frustrated.
A lot of men are frustrated too, but men usually suffer in silence because nobody really cares about male loneliness until it affects society. The difference is men are expected to keep grinding through it without emotional support or sympathy.
It's your lucky day because I did some boots on the ground journalism because I was like, how are these people casually affording Birkins and luxury hauls? I know it's commonly thought like everyone's just in credit card debt, but obviously that's not the case for everyone. The answer that I found most commonly is the fact that these women have very high paying jobs themselves. Guess what? They are also married. Because a girl commented on my video saying I make blank a year. I was like, wait, that's literally how much money I make, but I can't afford a Birkin. There was more than one woman, but their husbands pay for almost everything, like the housing expenses, blah, 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 blah. And then they are able to, like with the money they make, buy what they want for themselves. And obviously each month my money is going to my rent, to my car, insurance, utilities, bills, all those great things. But then I had a second and I was like, oh my gosh, if all of that was covered for me, I would be having fucking 6 Birkins on my arm.
And there it is, the hidden truth behind a lot of the independent luxury lifestyle online. Many of those lifestyles are still heavily supported by men paying the major responsibilities behind the scenes, while social media presents it as solo success.
But single tax is so real, and I never realized how expensive it truly was to live alone and to be fully self-supported. I'm very proud of myself, but I was like, wow, that really fucking sucks. When women enter into marriage, like they're not necessarily benefiting. I forget what the statistic was, but men benefit so much more. Women's quality of life decreases by X% and men's increases. So it's even like women make less when they're married, men make more when they're married. And the other part too is like how much money I pay in taxes. I'm not one of those people who are like, I have to pay 50% in taxes. Like if there's people who don't even have the bare minimum, like I do not need more money. I do pay like I think 45 or 48%. Obviously as like a single person salary, it's like I even just think like if I had a boyfriend and were to split this rent with him, not even the matter of a man paying for all of my bills, but to literally go 50-50, which is also something I just wouldn't do. I wonder why people are so into marriage. Like the only reason I'm into it is for the financial gain.
It's interesting hearing someone openly admit that marriage becomes attractive once the financial burden of adulthood fully hits. For years, men were told we don't need men, but the minute rent, taxes, insurance, and life pressure stack up, the value of partnership and male provision suddenly becomes obvious again.
I don't know if any other girls feel like this, but I can't wait until I am in a situation with a guy where I'm not out of sight, out of mind. I feel like every guy that I've dated, talked to, situationship has always been like, can't see her, she's not there. Out of sight, out of mind. And I don't know if I'm the only person that like deals with this, or maybe I'm just picking terrible guys, but where are all of the good guys that don't do that or pretend like I don't exist when I'm not with you? I would like one of them, please. Thank you. I mean, maybe that's all guys. I don't know. It doesn't seem to be that way, but like, where are we finding the good guys? What are they doing? And also, if you are in a relationship or a situation where you're not out of sight, out of mind, what's it like? Drop it in the comments. Let me live through you, because right now, times are fucking tough for your girl, and I'm losing hope.
She keeps asking where the good guys are, but many good men quietly checked out after years of situationships, mixed signals, unrealistic expectations, and being treated as replaceable. Strong men usually go where they feel appreciated, respected, and wanted.
I think there are a lot of people out there who think that being a single person is really easy financially because they're like, oh, well, you only have to pay for yourself. And like, wrong. Yeah, I do only have to pay for myself, which means I have to pay for my rent entirely by myself. I don't split it with a partner. My council tax bill, even though there's only one person, is only discounted by 25%. So if you're splitting your bill down the middle with a partner, I'm still paying more than you individually. My energy bills, yeah, okay, I pay less than you, but I'm not paying half because most of that cost is a standing charge. If I want to go on holiday, I have to pay for the room or the cabin entirely by myself. If I want to get a mortgage, I have to have a bigger deposit, and I can't get approved to borrow as much because I only have one income. Like, financially is really, really difficult to be a single person, and I think more people need to remember that when they're talking to their single friends.
This is exactly why stable relationships and strong families historically mattered so much. Life is expensive, stressful, and heavy when one person has to carry every responsibility alone. Men have understood that burden forever because society traditionally expected them to shoulder it quietly.
I'm so fucking tired of being single. I'm 24. I've never dated anyone before, and by never dated, I mean I've never even held hands with a man. I'm tired of having to be independent. I'm tired of having to do everything by myself all the time. I'm tired of having to bring all the groceries up from the car by myself. I'm tired of having to always cook for myself because it's just me. So if I don't cook, I don't eat. I'm tired of having to go and do cool and fun things by myself, and I can do it by myself because I've always done it by myself. But it would be nice to have a partner to go out to lunch and dinner with and try all these new experiences with and go to the farmer's market with, and not having to do everything by myself all the fucking time. I am constantly alone. It's constantly just me. If something happens, the only person I can rely on is me because there's no one else there.
A lot of men have been saying this for years too, but male loneliness gets mocked instead of sympathized with. The truth is, modern society convinced people they don't need each other, and now many are discovering the hard way that life feels a lot heavier without dependable relationships and strong masculine presence.
I am tired of the amount of gaslighting us single people have to go through. Because let's be honest, a lot of the things that our friends in relationships can get for free, we have to pay for. And there's no amount of self-love or therapy that can kind of circumvent the frustration that being single is very expensive. Because if, an example, I am sick, I don't have anyone who can cook for me. My friend can ask her boyfriend to cook for her. I have to DoorDash something. If I need help moving something in my house, I need to go find someone and pay that person to come over and move it. Well, my friend can just ask her partner. And all those things just add up. If you lose your job, you have someone who can help you with rent. If you are having like financial trouble or health trouble, you now need to like disclose that to your family or friends, which might be embarrassing, or you can tell your one husband or your wife to help you through that. It is so frustrating.
This is another reminder that relationships are not just about romance. They're about teamwork, support, protection, and shared burdens. Men have historically filled that role quietly for generations, often without appreciation. And now more people are realizing how valuable dependable masculine support actually is.
To have to go through so many things alone and make these really big decisions, hard decisions completely by myself. I have my friends, I have my family, I love them, I can lean on them, but maybe I don't want to tell them all about my finances. Maybe I don't want to have to over-explain my entire health condition to them. Maybe I just need someone to help me with a real quick task that I don't want to have to pay someone or wait for someone to drive across town to come help me. And it is so frustrating because we're told that, being single is great. And it's really great when compared to an unhealthy relationship. But being single is not always better than having a healthy relationship. Don't get me wrong, I am not going to go hop into a relationship with a man just so I can have someone. But I do think we need to be honest that being single, while it can be really great, is also very impractical sometimes.
This is one of the biggest realities people discover later in life. Independence sounds empowering until every burden lands on your shoulders with nobody beside you to help carry it. A good man doesn't just add romance, he adds relief, stability, and partnership.
All right, I might have to take my own advice because right now I am so frustrated by the fact that I can't see anything more with this guy I'm seeing. And he's a great guy. He's a great guy on paper, great guy in person. And I just don't understand why I don't see more with him. What made me want to see more with my exes? It's so, I don't know why I'm getting emotional, but it's so frustrating. He's a great guy. He's such a good guy. And it's and then I don't see more with him. It's why? I don't understand. I don't understand what is wrong with me.
She says he's a great guy, but notice how attraction isn't being built around character anymore? It's about feelings, chemistry, and emotional intensity. A lot of solid men are realizing that being dependable alone no longer guarantees genuine desire in today's dating market.
And this is what I'm talking about. I just left a day party in Nashville, Tennessee early because, number one, it's just a bunch of females, number one. The majority is women, number one. Number two, the small handful of men that are in there are either young as hell, broke as hell, ugly as hell, short as hell, or dumb as hell. Okay? There is no quality of men to choose from at these events that are outside. So what's the point? What's the point? Can somebody please slide in the comment section and tell me, where do I find the mature men, the established men, the emotionally intelligent men, the financially stable men, the men with big boy careers, the men that are single for real, not married, not in a relationship, are actually ready and available. Drop it in the comments, please, for me and all the other Black women that are just not ready for more.
She wants a man who's established, emotionally intelligent, financially stable, single, intentional, and ready for commitment. But those men are extremely rare and highly sought after. The reality is, men who built themselves up usually have options too, and they're becoming far more selective about who gets access to their time, money, and peace.
So I'm sure you guys have seen, I think his name's Caleb. He does like the financial, like the people come in, they sit down, they break out the books, they give him all the debt, and he tells them like, this is how you should probably try to get out of debt. I've watched a lot of his TikTok videos, and I have noticed majority of the time it is the wife spending above the means. And I always think to myself, why don't the husband just put his foot down and say, we're not doing this, I'm taking away credit cards, I'm taking away debit cards, or whatever. But then I had a thought. If the man did that, then you would have a bunch of women going in at the man saying that he's controlling, or she should have her own money. You see how feminism works. And I will forever say that was the worst thing that has ever happened to women, like legit. But it's the fact that I've seen this one couple that they're in debt. Like,
one thing these financial audits shows constantly is that discipline matters more than image. Plenty of men are working, budgeting, and trying to build stability, while social pressure pushes endless consumption, luxury lifestyles, and treat yourself culture. Somebody eventually has to say no.
My goodness, like I would be like shitting bricks if I was in that much debt. But she still gets Disney passes. And Caleb's like, you can't afford this. And they're just both sitting there just laughing. And I'm just like, how can you guys both be laughing when you are in that much debt? And then the husband's like, I've tried to tell her. I don't know. I need for men to be men. I need for men to be like, you're not doing this. I'm taking this, and that's that. But I don't think that would ever happen, because we have a bunch of women out here that if a man even remotely says, well, you're not going to do that, then, oh, he's controlling. You need to leave him, sis. So what can you do? I don't know.
This is what happens when financial leadership disappears from a relationship. Debt stops being treated like a crisis and starts getting laughed off, while unnecessary spending continues. A household can't survive long term if nobody is willing to make hard decisions and enforce discipline.
I just need a man in my life that just wants to be a man in my life. Just a man. Not my man. No benefits, no sugar, no nothing. You just want to be a man in my life. For what? So I can call you when I need air in my tires, which I've been needing for weeks. So I can call you when I need my car cleaned. My door is creaking in my house, so I can call you. Can you fix that for me, please? Can you bring this heavy ass cat litter upstairs, please? A man I can depend on without you wanting to be my man. Because quite frankly, I'm good off of y'all. But men are great. Love men. It's a lot that a man can bring to a woman's life besides just providing. I don't even want no sugar. But if you want to give me sugar, baby, I'll take it. I'm literally just talking about a dependable man in my life that I can call when a girly is in need. Tires is just getting lower and lower and lower. And I'm over here like, so you want me to go to the gas station and get change and put it in the air thing and then squat down by my tire and put air in? I'm too bad for that. So if you want to be a man in my life, a dependable source of masculinity, please.
What's interesting is she says she doesn't want a relationship, but still wants access to masculine labor, masculine competence, and masculine reliability. A lot of men are starting to ask, why would they continuously provide all of that energy, time, and effort without receiving commitment, appreciation, or reciprocity in return?
Let's talk about the single tax, because being single is very, very expensive compared to being in a couple. And this is not just in terms of splitting things in two, like splitting the rent, splitting the mortgage, whatever you have, or splitting the bills for the groceries. It's not just that. It's also the fact that governments across the world prioritize couples by incentivizing you to get married. You pay lower taxes if you get married. If you have a family, you pay lower taxes as a family, alongside many other advantages, such as parking spots in different places for, I don't know, like if you have a family car, if you have children, you cannot park there if you're single and you don't have children. Why? If you actually pay attention, advantages for people who have children and for people who are married are everywhere. And I have been racking my brains about this because I couldn't really figure it out. And I think it finally came to me. And the reason is because the government wants you to have children. If you are in a couple, you are a lot more likely to have children. If you are single and you live alone, you are less likely to have children. Therefore, there's so many advantages to being in a couple, to being married, because having children provides a workforce for the government. If the government has no people to work for them, they have no power and no money.
What's overlooked is how much pressure men historically carried within that system. Men were expected to build the financial foundation that made marriage, housing, and children possible in the first place. Now that fewer men feel motivated to take on that burden, a lot of people are suddenly noticing how expensive and difficult solo living really is.
So the fewer people, the fewer children we have, the worse it is for the government. And that's why there's so many advantages in society to having children, to being married, because you're more likely to have children. They don't care about you being married and not having children. Now that is actually a trick you're going to play on the government if you do that. So dinks, well done. For those who don't know, dink means dual income, no kids. So you guys are actually tricking the government and getting all the benefits of being married and splitting rent and bills and whatever, and also not giving them children, not giving them a workforce. This is actually a much bigger conversation because it has been so insidious and it's seeped into people's just minds that everybody thinks you should get married. Everybody thinks you should have kids, and they don't actually know where that information is coming from, because it has been passed from one person to another, from mothers to children, from everybody in society keeps repeating the same thing, that we forgot what this actually is at its core. This is actually great news for those of us who actually are so torn about having kids, because we don't actually have kids, but we are afraid that maybe there will be a day in the future when we regret this decision. You won't regret this decision because you're not having children for any other benefit other than just making your own friends and giving the government laborers a workforce.
It's also ironic to celebrate dink lifestyles while simultaneously complaining about loneliness, lack of community, aging alone, and the emotional emptiness modern dating creates. Financial freedom matters, sure, but many people eventually realize money and convenience don't fully replace family and long-term connection. Anyway, that's enough for today. Subscribe, hit the notification bell, like, share, and stay tuned for the next video.